How are you doing?
Doing good. Had
Okay,
my breakfast for 12:30
nice.
afternoon.
As you would. I mean, I just ate at like 6, so can't really judge you in any way. So, okay, so what are we doing today? We got like a high level Bowmaster, I believe, right?
Yes.
Uh, did we do progression for you like a long ass time ago?
My Imager album says at least 2 years ago for the
Okay,
last one.
damn, that's a while. So what kind of situation are you in right now? What are you working on?
Okay. So there's I guess two important facts. The first one is the last 30% off Star Force event. I made some impulsive choices.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you'll see when you get to the CRA gear and the the superior Galaxy, you will see the fate of my what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then if you go to the like extra equips near the bottom, I also got quite a few drops like oh, after the familiars came back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess I'm trying to incorporate the lucid belt, but I've been told that it's bad or like because I already have a finished Galax spell that there's not really anywhere to fit it in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also transitioning, so I made the choice to skip going Abso
Yep.
because I had Tyrants from,
Long time
the
ago.
previous meta.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to transition from Tyrant to Arcane right now.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the most, I guess, best way to do that, but also roughly how much stat I would need to make it like equal.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess we're good. Okay. Yeah, see, there's definitely some Star Force space. Yeah, so the main reason why people say the belt is not like something that you really throw in there, because it really only functions if you have multiple pieces of the set, or if you have like an insane amount of stars, like literally either 21 or 22. Outside of that, it just makes more sense to go for like a 22 star pink bean belt and just transfer it into a 21 superior belt, because there's some insecurity right now. The superior boss, the superior Golok set is like a must have, right? The set bonus is just so good.
Yeah.
So you're just playing around that. But there's a change in KMS a bit ago that you cannot wear two of the same items to activate two set bonuses in the same set.
Right.
Yeah, so it
It's kind
should,
of unfortunate because
but
my
yeah.
only 22s are the pendants.
Mm-hmm.
Or not the only 22s, but I guess replacing that second one is going to be difficult.
Yeah, so it's not guaranteed that it will happen for us, because unlike the other regions that it probably will work for, we have specifically two pendants mentioned in the set bonus now. So I don't think it will work for us. I don't think it should work for us, but that doesn't mean that it might not, right? It's still possible that they push that through and don't fix that, and then we're kind of forced to play around that. So because of that, investing heavily into the belt is kind of like a still an unsure thing. So it's probably not a good idea to do that at this point. And I would say it's definitely only worth it if you're going for like a 21 or a 22 belt in the first place.
Okay, yeah, that was my first impression.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess, do you know how much that would change if I got a second item, like for the set effect?
So like
I
if the
just say the pocket item.
like that. Yeah, the pocket item. because the Eine face. You do have a Bladis mark, yeah. The two.
Yeah, I got the belt, the mark, and the bow same week. Same day, actually.
Wow, that was a good day.
Yeah, I was dry for like a good year and a half. And I had one lucky day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's all it takes. 10 all stat, 10 weapon and magic attack, and 10% boss damage just for the 2 set. Yeah, it's good to have like as a possible outcome, but you probably will only get to it if you can get like past 20 stars, which already has like a lot of boom chance involved in it, right? And if you can get at least 2 pieces activated, and the drop rate for the for the book isn't particularly high.
Well, they're supposedly increasing it again, aren't
Yeah.
they?
It is possible that it gets more it goes more into favor, more into the meta, but we'll have to see until it actually hits the live servers in KMS, and then see if it does increase it. And we'll probably need several weeks or like a month or 2 to really get some kind of idea from KMS to see how much it really did increase it, right? Because the drop rate is so astronomically low now that even if they like double the chance, you wouldn't really feel that, because it could still be just a little bit luckier than before, right? Because like if in a month time or something, if every day one person in the whole server gets 1 Papulatus mark and it goes from 1 to 2, that's not really like an astronomical increase, and it doesn't really change the meta because of that change. It would have to be very significant change for it to really mean that that it becomes reasonable for people to earn all of these things themselves now, right? If it's more tradable in non-reboot, that makes sense. More of them will get around, but for reboot, the drop rate will have to be significantly increased because you're planning your whole game plan around these pieces.
Yeah, like I got the achievement for killing Chaos Pap 100 times last year, so that tells you about the rates already.
Yeah, rates aren't great, but you know, eventually it shows up. Okay, so you have the arcane pieces. What Star Force are they at?
Those are all new. I just bought them.
Okay.
They're like 1-line decks. That's why I didn't put an image, because they actually have nothing on them.
Okay. And so is your plan initially just to go like 17 star?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then work from there. Then you'll have 5 set, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I guess the main issue, the main roadblock is my current glove is really hard to replace.
Yeah. Because of the transpose.
I was watching your stream the other day, and you mentioned the MC event that we probably aren't getting, but
yeah, which parts is even if we do get a no boom room, which I guess it's possible that we do get the no boom room, which will be godsend for you if you're trying to Star Force Arcane. That saves you so much money. But if we get the fact that like it working on Tyrant gear is probably not coming. I would assume that wouldn't be effective, but if it is, then yeah, you're gonna have to do some maths to see if the 12 star, because you're already so close, right? And invested in the potential and in the flames to an extent. So getting the Tyrant from 10 to 12 would be not as much of a gamble as going full on in Arcane, but that will break up the possible 5 set and a lot of the value, the 30% boss, and even getting it, right? And your Sweetwater gloving. Although it can open up the door to maybe still somehow retreating back into Transpose Sweetwater and benefit from the set bonuses there.
Yeah, I still have all the other, like, I was ready to transpose, but I held off on it.
Yeah, transposing at 10 is probably not the move, but if you could, if we do get it to work on Tyrant and you could transpose at 12, that would make sense, because then the set bonuses C-pin, but that would mean that you wouldn't have backup. You would be left with like a 3 set, right? 3 set arcane, which is less than ideal. No, 2 set, right? 2 set. Yeah, that is tricky. It's gonna be some mathing to put like all of the numbers together. I guess we can like try to figure that out.
Yeah, so right now, since I just like came into all these items at once, I went from having nothing to really, Flame or Star Force to not needing to make decision. Right now, I'm just throwing everything on the Pap Mark.
Yep, just flaming it.
I think I got it to 16 already from the last 5, 10, 15 event. So I think it's almost ready to go. Need the flame. Oh, and for the weapon, I remember you mentioning that you were, I guess, unhappy, or you saw how Pocket did his weapon and you didn't like the way he did it. So what's the proper way to like rotate?
Yeah, so I think so he was doing it with the shoulders, right? I think he messed up at the end. Because like if you have one weapon that's upgraded and the other one that isn't, then you wanna take the first risk always with the one, like the first risk of going one higher with the one that isn't upgraded. Because if you take it with the one that is upgraded, that means like you can't transfer the trace, right? Because then you lose all the potential, all of the Star Force on the one that is on the same. And if you do succeed, then you're higher than your fodder, and then at that point you're gonna have to get 2 more on your fodder to make it worth to switch over. So if you so let's say you have 17 on your main weapon, and then you get your other one also to 17. You'd want to try to go for 17 to 18 on the one that isn't upgraded first. Because then if it sorry, no, not that way. Because if you do that, then you gain nothing, right? The only way you would gain something is if you would fully upgrade the 18 star then and spend all of that money on cubing, on flaming, all of that stuff, right? And you would have to do that if you blow up your main weapon, because you wouldn't be able to transfer the trace over, because then you would lose the gains in the potential, in the Star Force. So first you would always want to risk the one that's already upgraded, and then choose to either settle for the other one, which will be the same amount of stars as the one you blew it up on, so the only thing you lose is the potential stats, or if you succeed, then you can risk with the other one. Until you get like to the very end, like if you get to 21, and they're both 21, then you can kind of see what you want to do, right? Do you just want to keep 2 21s and make one a farming weapon and one a bossing weapon? Do you really want to reach for 22? Yeah, because the chance of booming there is very high, so it's like a different riddle there. But I think with Pockhead it had 2 I think he had 2 shoulders at 20, and one was already upgraded and one wasn't upgraded yet, and then he tried to upgrade the one that was already oh god, I don't remember the exact situation, but I just remember looking at it and being like feeling like he should have done the other one, because then you're like in a lose situation.
I think he had to cube his new one because he blew up his original.
Yeah, so he was trying to get from 20 to hopefully to 22, right? And he had an upgraded one at 20, and then he had a spare one, and he got the spare one to 20.
Yes.
So, and then he Star Forced
the original one.
The original one, yeah. And then that one blew up.
So he's stuck with a 20, but it had no potential.
And a trace with value that he couldn't use. But instead, if you go for the backup one from 20 to 21, then what you can do is either you go 20 to 21 on your main, the one you already have. If it booms, then you're left with a 21 without potential, so you're one higher than in the situation before. If it doesn't boom, then you're at a 21 with potential, so you've increased.
Right.
Or you're left with the same you already had and a like a trace of like a 12 star that you can then use on the new one if you get another one. So you always have in his situation you either get an upgrade or you're left with the same Star Force but a downgrade because it doesn't have potential. In the other situation, you either have the same thing you already had, so no downgrade, or you have the chance to upgrade an entire star. It's a 1-star difference with the end situation.
Oh, this is kind of related. So when going for a weapon flame,
Mm-hmm.
I had some people tell me, like, I think it was some hero mains, so they've always had trouble with soul damage.
Yeah.
But I was told that if you get a flame that is attack and magic attack, they both affect your soul damage. So when people flame, say if I made the second weapon into a farming weapon, they say you should aim for tier 6 both attack lane. Have you heard that before?
I have not. Well, I have heard that I have heard before that the damage for summons scaled off of magic attack in some way. I have heard that mentioned because of how easy it is for mages to kill with their summons, and I believe my arc might be killing with the summon a little bit more easily as well. And I think I have a tier 5 magic attack on mine, so there could be some truth to that.
So yeah, archer is the same way. Our soul damage is really bad. So I don't know what the actual soul formula is.
Oh, no,
I'm sure it's like on the wiki or whatever.
When it's my DA one has 108. Yeah, I don't know if that's been like fully data mined and figured out how that works. It's just like some classes deal bad soul damage, is how I've always heard it. Let's see if we can find it. I guess soul.
Yeah, like Bowmaster, they have a toggle for final attack, but final attack doesn't affect the soul damage, so we lose out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this has been like figured out. There could be some truth to the magic attack though. So people have actually experimented with that, going for like tier 6 magic attack on a weapon to be able to like reliably 2-shot or 1-shot with the soul.
I think so. I mean, I've heard it from, I don't know if it was like too much gains or it was like one of the really strong warriors who are like, they're just really trying their equips are already almost maxed, so they can't really get any easy gains anywhere else to prove the soul, but they tried that and it seemed to help.
Is Doof still in the chat? Because you know Doof, right? He's a Bowmaster.
I think I've seen him around, yeah.
Because Doof is training now. I don't know if Doof's heard anything about this, about the familiars. Gaines was... Wait, is Gaines online right now? Hang on. Hit him up. See what that's like. Yeah, I've not heard of that. But there's a bunch of stuff in MapleStory that I know doesn't really... that we kind of have to just figure out ourselves, right? Because it's not really in the code. Like, it doesn't really give us that information. We just kind of have to like figure that out. And it might be one of those things. He's probably training right now. Stop training. Doof, stop training. Read. Classes damage. But yeah, so you have two weapons. The problem I think is more like what kind of combination of gears is a relevant switch for you, rather than how are we going about like star forcing the weapon past 17, I think, right?
Yeah.
It is definitely something to look into for later.
So my main goal is the Tyrant to Arcane switch,
Yeah.
because I understand EPSO is like, technically better. I don't have the sort of income to sort of like fund that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with being slightly weaker just to have the sort of permanence from the arcane.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer that.
Okay.
It's the same thing with my like logic for star forcing. Is the way I initially approached it was, I never want to do Gollix again, so I'm just gonna finish all my Gollix items first.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I 22'd the pendants, the belt, and then back at the time there was no restock, so the ring was, 17.
And done.
The earring was 17. I was like, all right, done. Never have
Yep.
to do Gollix ever again. Well, of course they had to add restock.
Yeah. And then
Or,
that benefits
sorry,
all the people who kept doing the boss, and detriment to the people who stopped early like you.
Oh, actually no. I did the Meister transfer to the
Yeah.
ring, so it was 21 and done. And the restock came out, and I said, okay, it's one tap, 1 star. How hard could it be? 22, and then Gollix is done. And of course, didn't pass. Boomed on the first click.
Mm-hmm. Well, for someone
But
who's
now,
okay with being weaker, that's a counterintuitive move, I would say.
The issue that I didn't take into account at the time when I made that decision is I can't transfer another Meister onto the ring, because then I'll lose the potential, and it's double prime. So now I'm sort of committed to actually farming the bear rings instead of Meister transfer.
Yeah, although it's a double prime, but it's not like a 12-12-9, so you'd only be losing 9% strength, right? Which isn't as bad. You can still get 12-9-9 just full dex. And that will be still similar.
But that's probably my only regret. I don't mind booming to CRA, but I really should have left the ring at 21.
Yeah. Well, yeah, regrets. Regret comes after the failure, of course.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd succeeded, then it would have been one of your great decisions. And yeah, that's how that works, right?
Oh, actually do need to work on the reinforced now. Is solid? The solid's the easiest way to transfer that, right?
Yeah. Well, you have a 19 already, right? That's the highest you could transfer.
Yeah. Wait, let me see. How much do the... I know the superiors are 700. Do you know off the top of your head how much the solid and reinforced?
450 for reinforced, and then 2... I forgot now. It's 100. I think it's 100, 250, 450, 700, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And... Wait, does Gollix drop rings now up to solid?
Yeah, but it's from everything I've asked people in the chat, because like these kind of progressions come into play a lot, and then whenever I ask people in the chat who've been actually doing normal to try to farm the rings, the drop rate for the rings is so bad that by just doing Helix instead and spending those coins on the rings, you have like you're guaranteed more rings than if you actually run the boss, like run normal.
Oh, okay, that's one thing I was wondering. All right, that's very helpful. I'll just keep doing.
One person got like 1 ring after doing it daily for 20 days on 2 characters.
Wow.
So if you compare that to just running Helix those days, it wins out by a lot. It's usually just that the odds are too low. Yeah.
I've gotten 1 belt, the rework. Like one good belt. Yeah, it's not new player friendly for sure.
No.
Especially with the new health pool.
True. I would. Yeah, yeah, it feels like you have to do like a lot of work to get back to where you were, but I would do the 22 Meister back into the Superior and then recube it. Just because if it was a 12-12-9, I could definitely feel you on that one. But even then, 12-12-9, like 3% stat isn't super amazing compared to how much stat you gain from going all the way up to 21 stars. Because if you think of it as in terms of like flame score, right? 3% dex is like, it's like 9 flame score for each one, so it's like 27 flame score, and just one attack is like double that almost. Or sorry, not one attack, one extra star is like double that almost. So it does really kind of fade in comparison in the grand scheme of things of getting strong gear. How much a double prime is. It's really good on top of having everything perfect, but I don't think it should stop you from going to the point where you were.
Okay. My line of thought for that is I would be okay Meister transferring if I end up using the earring instead of the transpose Sweetwater earring.
Yeah.
So like if I need to 21-22 the earring, I'm just gonna Meister transfer for the ring. But if I'm gonna keep the Sweetwater earring, I'm okay with just saving up coins if it's just gonna be the ring.
Well, the thing with the earrings is that the earrings drop now from Gollux, right? It's not the earrings, earrings and the belts. Yeah. And the earrings do have a transfer possibility as well. It's more the pendants that are the problem, but you have those set, so that's like the hardest part is doing the pendants, because it's either old reinforced pendants or buying reinforced pendants or dominator pendants transfer hammering, and that's like the really tricky one now. But you have that one set, thank God. And you didn't try for 23 there. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good plus.
The really cool thing about the pendants is I can actually see the range difference because all their stats are the same except for the flame. I can tell if 4% all stat is stronger than 32 dex.
It should be so for you, right?
Yeah, but it's interesting to see like exactly how close the values are.
Yeah. You don't need to put all of the numbers in a calculator. You can just switch between those two. That's pretty cool, yeah.
So the difference is 4% all stat gives me an extra like 9k range over 32 dex. So it's good. I have that. I can always see that benchmark without like having to do extra work.
So hopefully that change will get bigger, right, as you upgrade your other stuff. The all stat should scale beyond the... You should scale harder than the flat amount. At least with these proportions. Belt is... Yeah, okay. So there's the conditional of knowing if the KMS changes are going to go through. There's the conditional of knowing whether or not... you said it wasn't really going to influence, but let's say that no boom does work on Tyrants, and you have 10 star ready, and you could go from 10 to 12 instead of sinking into Arcane. That could also become an option and come into play.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I knew about the event they had where, like, the success was doubled and the fails were halved, but I didn't hear about the Tyrant one.
Yeah, this one was a while ago. This was in January in Maple Sea, so it's already like 8 months ago, 7 months ago. So yeah, might have flown under the radar a little bit, but it was kind of weird in Maple Sea because Maple Sea doesn't have a reboot, so it's like all on non-reboot. So a bunch of people just got Tyrants to 15 and just completely said goodbye to Arcane. And then with the event now, they were forced to kind of like say goodbye to Tyrant again, and then go for 21 and 22 Arcane pretty easily. So they're kind of forcing them to spend all their money on upgrading.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, I'm gonna wait till the event hits before I spend anything. But
Yeah.
I think I'm going to operate under the assumption that we aren't gonna get, 15-star Tyrants.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
gonna
safe.
assume we're not gonna get that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, at what point does Arcane become better than Tyrant, or like what kind of flames am I gonna need, or
Yeah, the full 17 and
potentials
everything.
even?
So full 17 versus 10-star. Does anyone have a 17-star Arcane equip so I could just look at the numbers and I want to start doing the maths here?
The shoulder should give you the Star Force.
Oh yeah,
while
your
you use it.
shoulder. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Ooh, thank you for the sub, Mr. Fahrenheit. 12 months. That's a whole year, dude. Thank you, man. 12, 17, so 70 all 25 plus, oh man, quote unquote only plus 25. Yeah, this is why people go Abzo instead. The main thing why Abzo is such a much safer option and everything is not so much because of how of like how much more access you have to Abzo, but how much easier it is to get to high Star Force, because you can just get level 150 gear high up and then just transfer hammer it over, and that's just not an option at all with Arcane. If there was level 190 gear that was readily available, then everyone would be, having high star Arcane and wouldn't even think about Absolab anymore. So that's the huge difference between the two. 70 plus 25. And
Yeah, I just like
Tyrant.
how it looks. I like having sort of unique equipment, or
Mm-hmm.
like everybody wears Abso,
True. I mean, like 95% of people cover everything up with NX though, so
That's true.
can't really see it
But
anymore.
I figure since I had the Tyrants already, I could hold out. And because the glove was probably my best equip, so I thought, I could always transpose the rest if I ever wanted to.
Yeah, it's just so much more. Was the glove transpose at 10 as well?
Yeah, it was a 10.
Yeah.
The only downside is I transposed a couple of weeks before Flames came out, so it wasn't able to get a good transpose.
Mm.
So the Flame was, yeah, they just weren't out yet when I transposed. Cause it
Was
was
like
a
a
while ago.
nebulite on it, or?
Yeah, there's a neb.
Yeah. Good old nebs.
Like, this would be a lot more problematic if it actually had a good flame, but since it only has what it has, I feel a lot more comfortable being able to replace it.
Dude, it's just such a huge gap in equips, because the shoulder has much more equips than the other gear, right? The regular equips have like a base attack of what, like 5 or 7 or something?
Let me check.
For your arcane stuff?
It's 996 for the cape.
Yeah, like 6, yeah. Because if it gets plus 25 from being level 17, you end up with a 30
34, 31.
31 attack cape, and then your Tyrant is giving you 90. Like
90, yeah.
like that's not even close. Even the 30% boss set, if you go for full set, is not gonna cut that. Almost feels like you. I mean, like if you want to AFK, you can wear the arcane, and no one will be the wiser. But I wouldn't. I guess I wouldn't make the jump if you're only going to 17. It just feels like a bad
Let me look
investment.
at my spares. I have enough droplets. I can do one roulette. There is a chance I could get lucky, but I'm not like relying on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can roulette to 18.
Reliably, if you're rouletting, 117 to 18. I mean, you'd always do it during 5, 10, 15, right?
See, yeah,
that's
past 15 definitely. Pre 15, I think no boom is better technically, right? Pre 15, is it?
Oh yeah. Well, it'll depend if we get the no rooms on it, if it works and everything.
Because the safeguard costs is
Yeah.
like the murder.
Yep, they are. They're crazy, crazy costly. Kek says here for like from 17 to 18, if you safeguard and if you star catch, there's like a average boom of 0.06. So that's like pretty low, even if you multiply that over multiple characters. If you go to 19 though, that you have a 0.34. So on average, you'll boom 1 if you go from 17 to 19 on 3 equips. Like a 1 in 4 boom from 18 to 19. Yeah, having enough for 1 backup, there's a good chance that you get like everything to 18 and maybe 1 or 2 of them to 19 before 1 booms, and then you can get that 1 back and Star Force it back up to 17. But the extra star, so you're at 25. So it gives you 12, 13, and then the next star would be 14, right? So that would be...
Yep.
But then you're still looking at a cape with like 45 attack, most likely, versus 90.
The good thing is the cave flame is not that good. Pretty average.
Yeah. But if you're going to solidify investing or like sticking with this for longer, then actually just working on the flame would be, because I'm always looking at like, okay, is there an item that you have that's weaker now that you can upgrade past what you already have? But is that going to cost you like 30 bill? And instead, if you spend 5 bill on the equip you already have, you'll get it to the same point, and then you have 25 bill left that you can spend on something else to get even stronger, right? Because everything comes from the pile of money, so there's a lot of things that you can still work on. There's some cubing. You can definitely make like a lot of gains more in your CRA stuff, right?
Yeah.
I feel at this point the Arcane is kind of like I mean, if you want to be able to wear it and you want to be able to like train in it and like look nice in it and everything. I mean, you're at decked up with NX though, so I don't think people will be able to see it. But like, if you want to AFK in town with like the full Arcane set on, so people can be like, oh, that person has full Arcane, like be my guest. You can do whatever you want there, right? But I feel like from an upgrading and from a financial standpoint, I think going into the Arcane at this point feels like a bad move. When it comes to like how much gains you can make with your money.
Yeah, like I know most of my gains are gonna come from Star Force.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of looking at it. I know this is not proper or correct, but I'm kind of looking at it as if I still had 21 star CRA, as in like, oh, I don't need to touch them anymore. Even though I know I have to get back to where I was at some point.
Yeah.
But I guess the reason I went for it is I had this feeling of everything's approximately equal. There's not one equip that felt like it was, way under the rest. Everything kind of felt the same at the time.
Yeah, well, at that point, I feel like the best move, so they coulda, shoulda, woulda, but like the best move probably would go for the Sweetwater accessories and push those, or push your actual Arcane during like just save up and wait for like either a no boom event or a 5, 10, 15, and then just push the Arcane and see if you can get the Arcane to an amount of stars where the switch would become worth it after you Star Force it and flame it properly, basically.
Yeah, I think at the time I was I still hadn't got a pat mark yet.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing left to push was like the tattoo, which I tried, and I think I boomed like 4,000 coins worth.
Jesus. Okay.
And it was just stuck at 17, 18.
That is not good.
So,
yeah.
so the tattoo did not did not have the luck,
No.
so it is what it is still.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah, I guess I just felt kind of like not bottlenecked, but to the point where most things are 21 or done, and there wasn't really much else to do except for just wait. And I didn't want to start the Sweetwater earrings because I wasn't sure. So before we knew that there was going to be the KMS update for the Gollix like second pendant, which we probably won't get, but like there wasn't even the threat of us getting it.
Yeah, for sure.
I was thinking, am I ever going to use the Superior earrings, or am I going to be using the Sweetwater earrings? And I was like, oh well, maybe if I get the Dreamy Belt, maybe I would use the Superior over the Sweetwater. But now, I think the belt is just strictly worse.
Yeah, except if the set bonus becomes somewhat viable. But even then, you'd want to get the set bonus either with the pocket item or with the eye in the face. In your situation, like the face would be the best over everything. And the other option would be with the pendant, right? If you get the Ferris Hilla pendant instead of the Dominator transposed into the Superior, into the Sweetwater, and then you'd keep Superior Gollix earrings, one Superior pendant, one Superior belt, one Superior ring, and then you use the Source of Suffering. That would be one, but then again, you'd be just switching out the belt for the pendant, whichever one you get first, because you can't wear both at the same time, because then you break your Superior set, and then that's always just strictly worse, because the set bonus is just so much better than even the pitch black set.
And yeah, it's hard to compare the Arcanes and the Tyrant because Tyrant doesn't have a set bonus.
Yeah. And Arcane doesn't really start getting online until like 19, really.
But like the 3 and 4 set does give quite a bit of attack, so it kind of makes up the gap.
3 and 4 set. Because is it like 25
3 set
and 30?
is 50 all stat and 35 attack, and 4 set is 40 attack, 10 IED. So like, I think the set effect is what kind of equalizes it.
Yeah, because you're comparing it to no set, whereas for most people the set is they're comparing it to the Abzo set, which is only like 10 lower.
So I wasn't sure if you had like a spreadsheet or like something that
I used I used to use Sam's, but he like privated all of that stuff. So
yeah, I'm aware of what happened. But yeah, they used. I was looking around for resources. Like they're all either private or gone. I just want to look at like, what is like the comparisons. Like
yeah, because you're in unfortunate in between everything scenario right now.
Yeah, like I know there was something somewhere where it's just like, oh, 17 Arcane is equivalent to, I don't know what it was, 18 or 19 Abso, or like, I'm trying to figure out what the breakpoints are between Tyrant and Arcane.
Yeah, in general, like for Abso and Arcane, I like slightly, like 20, like 21, 21 Abso is like roughly the same as 19 Arcane, and a 20 Arcane is like about the same as 22 Abso. It's at that point Arcane gets like a little bit better than even 22, but you have to have full 20 Arcane for that. So if you have to go like 21 Arcane to make sure that you're definitely like overpowering it by a lot, but 20 is already overpowering. But the problem is getting from 19 to 20, because that's the real pickle there, because there's a lot of droppage and a lot of booming going from 19 to 20. 20 to 21 is relatively easy because you can drop, but 19 to 20 is where the big problem is. But how Tyrant connects into that is a bit harder because of no set bonus.
Pretty good idea in my head of Abso versus Arcane.
Yeah.
But I don't know where Tyrant stands in there.
Well, especially because you could get the benefit still of transposing and getting the extra set there as well, right?
Yeah, that's like technically still an option, but
The best thing for you would be is if we do get the no boom affecting Tyrant, and then just get your shoe and cape to 12 and then transpose, and that would be the best for you, and then you don't have to worry about like anything else basically. That would be the best, because then you get to keep your glove and you can set bonus in.
yeah, I don't want to transpose at 10, because if you're gonna transpose, then you have to like sort of work on the flames, and then you have to re-keep your potential. So I'd only transpose at 12.
Yep.
But I would never go for 12, given where I am at, unless there was some sort of like random event that's
Yeah.
really good.
Exactly. Yeah, because your 3 set would give you 100 all stat and 55 weapon attack as well on top of it, which is basically the same as the 3 set, which is actually better than the 3 set arcane, right? Your 3 set arcane is 10 more weapon attack with 50 less stats, so. Arcane really starts only getting like online with the 4 set bonus. And then the 5 set kind of like solidifies it.
And people don't go the hat anymore, right? Sweetwater hat's out of the question because the flames are bad, and you're only transposing the.
Well, the hat can still go over 15, so it does have that value. I know Billy has a transposed hat that he uses, which is actually, I think, the best for him, but that's because dual blades have 2 secondary stats.
Secondary stats,
yeah.
right.
So because it gives you so much all stat with the set bonuses, it actually kind of like tips it over. But yeah, some set bonuses don't make sense. Like the Sweetwater going from 4 to 5 gives you 100 defense. It's like, who designed this? But no. Yeah, if you get a 4 set Sweetwater, might be then the thing that you would aim for. Honestly, I don't know what you would get. Oh, you get a Sweetwater shoulder, dude. just get that one. Yeah, I mean 195 all, 103 attack is actually really, really sexy. No wonder we used to go for this.
Yeah, I've got a boot and a cape already, and actually another glove.
Yeah, that might actually open up the hat for you, huh? If that does all happen, I mean, just theory crafting at this point. But especially since you don't have a 22-star hat that you would be rolling out of, but you still have to invest in a hat anyway. I could activate that because the 4 set Sweetwater would definitely be better than 3 set CRA for you for you at that point. But yeah, that's all hinging on the no boom happening on a Tyrant. Yeah, this is some like brain theory crafting right now.
Let's see. There's, I think what the flame score is for my current Tyrant, and then what I would be looking for on an arcane.
Mm-hmm.
Make it like at least equivalent.
Oh, you're thinking like the flame stats will be able to kind of work on the difference?
Yeah.
You can get better flames. And your potential will be 1% higher on average as well, of course. The problem is though breaking the glove. I feel like because if you go hole 17, it's like not worth it, right? If you go hole 18, that's better. That's like 64 extra weapon attack. If you get to do that because of the one backup you have, if you can get a few 19s, like 117, 2 18s, 2 19s, something like that, I think is reasonable.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking about is, oh yeah, I wanted to ask, so let's just assume, I'm going to cube the Arcane Glove to 2-line crit, like that's a given.
Yep.
And we're going to assume that, I'm not going to get insanely lucky and get another Dex third line.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
So 10%. So I'm thinking that the flame on the glove will make up for the fact that I'm losing that third potential line.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. The
again,
combination of the
I
line.
transposed before flames
Yeah.
came out, so it's only 36. Do you think how much how good of a flame do you think would make up for the 10% dex?
So 10% dex would be like 90 flame score, and you have 36, so you'd have 126 flame score to make up for, which I think that's definitely doable on Arcane. Some people aim for that on Abzo.
Okay, so you think 126 is kind of like a break even there.
For the glove itself, yeah.
Okay.
But you have to deal with the amount of attack you're losing as well, right? The weapon attack.
All right. So my current glove flame is 66 and 6 with 6 attack. What score is that?
60. Well,
So
I
it's
guess we
tier
just
6, all stat attack, and then
66. Bunch of sixes.
66. Yeah,
So 6, 3, 18, 84, 6, 54, 84, 138.
okay, so that's already better.
Yeah. But the 12 is like 4. So what's the weapon attack on the glove when you transfer it, and the stat on the glove is also going to be important, right? Because the Sweetwater glove is going to have more stat and more weapon attack as well. That's like the main problem, I think.
Wait,
Because,
sorry?
well, if you look at so if you have your glove at 17 star, it's gonna have like 4. Where's your shoulder? Yeah, it's gonna have like plus 70 strength and dex and plus 25 weapon attack, right?
Yes.
It's gonna have a little bit more weapon attack because gloves gain some weapon attack by themselves. So it's gonna have like 2 or 3 more. And you have plus 6, so it's gonna be like 31. So it's gonna be like mid 30s, like close to 40. But this glove has, oh, I scrolled past it, but it has like 80 something, right?
81.
Yeah, 81. So even if you take like careful margins, that's like 120 flame score in that. Plus, I don't know what is the base stats of the glove?
It's 40 and 9.
40. 40 and 9. So let's see. So like 40 attack. And 140. So you're losing like 30 dex and 40 attack. So you have like your current is like 6 attack better.
Wait, sorry, what was that value again?
So the starting is 40, and then the plus would be 70 if you had 17 stars. And the glove, the base is a 9, right? Plus plus 20. Lots of numbers. Plus 27? What was it? Oh, 25, I think. Oh, they're right next to each other. Yeah, 25.
And then the 3 set would give it 50 stat, 35 attack.
Yeah.
So let's assume that when I'm breaking, in order to break Tyrant, the first thing I need to break is the glove. So I feel okay just comparing it to the 3 set Arcane.
The 35. Yeah, because it's definitely not like going to be a one-piece switch. You'd have to switch like all the pieces. You have to throw it onto one pile. Let's see if we can like quick meme this.
let me go ahead and add it to the album so you can just have something to refer to.
Yeah. So Kipshu Glove. It's mainly the Kipshu Glove combination, right? Of what you have right now. Maybe like stat, sec, attack.
Okay.
Stat.
Alright, I added the glove if you just want to see the base stats and stuff. You refresh.
Oh, because you already have it. Yeah, upgraded some.
Yeah, just ignore the potential.
Oh.
Be at the top.
Yeah, it's probably at the top. Yeah. As I refreshed it, I was like, "Oh shit, it's gotta be on top." But it said. So it's 9. Yeah. Okay. Let's put in the numbers first. So your current is 182. Oh, for 6.
Yeah, I understand it's not really gonna make me stronger to use it, but I would like to just be done with the Tyrants forever. You know, having the same equip in the slot for so many years, tired of seeing it.
Yeah, my DA still has it, but I'm not really playing the DA a lot, so it's just a side thing. It's not like the main thing that I'm constantly looking at, so it's more easily just for me to say it's relatively just it's like an afterthought, but for you it's like the main thing you're constantly looking at.
Like I don't, it's not gonna matter to me whether I get Black Bridge ready or not. It's just kind of like the 5-set Arcane was, I guess, just like the main motivator to like keep playing, because everybody's like, oh, you'll never get that, you know.
Wow, people have no confidence in you.
I just like, but now people are getting there.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like in general, not like that you personally can't get it?
Yeah, they're like, it's so not worth it. You know, Absol's better. It's like the investment overall. You know, I've seen so many people come and go, and they play, and then they quit before they reach their goal. But this has just been my goal for a while.
Yeah, no, I get it. There's definitely some, not necessarily flex, but it just feels like you've achieved like a serious thing.
And I know at some point, it's not going to be 17 forever. I will, over time, the drop blitz are going to keep coming. Especially now that I put off the 275 grind until they add them to the Tenebris areas.
Yeah, that's wait, so did you buy most of the pieces, or did you just get them? Did you get some drops as well?
I bought 4 of the 5, and then I got the glove just the same week I got the.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
All the other drops.
All the other ones. Yeah.
The belt and the pep mark.
Our party got multi drops from both Lucid and Will. It was a pretty insane week.
That's always nice.
We had our party actually fell apart because everybody ended up quitting because the dryness, like the lack of drops, everybody quit.
It's very demotivating. I feel that.
Put together one more run. They said, "All right, I quit, but
I'll come back to help out."
Yeah, until you find a new group, I'll fill, just because it'd be kind of a dick move to just leave out of all of a sudden.
Yeah, high and dry.
So they filled, and then like everybody got drops that week. So we're like, oh, so you're not quitting, and it wasn't enough to keep them.
So they're still out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when people say that they're quitting and then they're just like YOLOing, star forcing all the gear and stuff. Even if all the star forcing works and they get insanely stronger, they'll probably keep playing for like another month or so, but then they'll still quit because you're just kind of done with the game at that point, and getting stronger gear doesn't really change that. Plus 70.
Yeah, so I'm still looking
25.
for Dupare, and I'm looking to, you know, shore up the equips and everything before I start, you know, looking around.
Mm-hmm. 110, 110. Doing some major mathage over here. Let's see, and then it's the 20, 25, 6, 31, 40. Gloves got something extra. 44, 45, I think. And the set bonus would be the... You would try to switch all of them, right? Would be the idea. So you would get into the 5 set, which would be 50, 135. Okay. Let's see. Shoe should be like the same, except for a little bit less attack. No, it'll be less that because of the flame. But let's say that you get like equivalent flames on the shoe and the cape, right?
Yeah. Like right now they don't have anything. The cape is like 100 int or something random.
Oh yeah, so we should add the stat here for 10. So that should...
So all the flames are going to the pad mark right now. Which is just gonna delay the swap like even further. But again, I'm not complaining.
Okay. See if I'm missing anything here. So you have 10 IED, 10% IED, 30% boss, extra here, and of course it's going to cost you a bunch of extra money.
I'll go ahead and add the other pieces to the album, even though they don't really have anything.
Let's see. So, thanks. Secondary attack. Would be this. This versus this and this. So that's if you get everything to 17, right? That's taking in the extra 10% from the glove. And the no set bonus whatsoever. And the current flames. So you could still upgrade your current flames, but you don't want to do that. So let's just not take that into account. So if you get comparative flames on your shoe and your cape, and you get everything to 17, I think I think that'll be gains, honestly. You gain, because of the set bonus, the attack bonus, which is huge, right? You still gain 14 total attack because that attack bonus for the set bonus is actually huge. If you manage, so you're like losing 100 dex and like 150 strength, and you're gaining 14 attack. So it's like minus. So that's like a net negative. You're gaining 30 boss and 30 IED, which is like hard to.
Right. That's something I'd have to calc.
It's hard to calc, but I'm pretty sure that already makes this close to a wash, I would say. That's what I would guess based on like my experience with the numbers and everything. But then since you have a backup, if you get like one extra item to 18, maybe a few to 18, which we looked at the numbers, right? Like it looked at the boom chance. It's a very low chance actually that you boom anything before you get all of them to 18. Again, it's going to be very expensive, right? It's not just like, oh, just switch the equips over and be a little bit stronger. It's like a huge financial investment to get only a little bit stronger. So that's mainly why in beginning my brain was going off like it doesn't seem like the right way to go. Unless you for sure know that you have a bunch more backups, unless we for sure know that we have the no boom room, because at that point not having to safeguard your up to 15 on Arcane saves you so much money that this becomes way more of a reasonable upgrade. Well, reasonable, just like financially more.
I'm gonna hit all the right events, you know.
Yeah.
Waiting.
You don't mind waiting out. Because this is like 42 value, so should we go on like minus? Let's say like minus 58.
What flame score did you estimate for the shoe in the cave?
Basically like the same that you have on the glove, like roughly the same. Okay. I think that's doable. Yeah, you'll have like 80 and 6 or something like that. Equivalent. Yeah, so if you even get like one extra star on one equip, so you're like losing the equivalent of 58 dex and 150 strength, and 150 strength is like 10 to 1, so it's like you're losing 68, we're one off. You're like losing 68 dex worth. So let's say that the flames get a little bit worse or something, right? The shoe in the cape doesn't quite get there. Let's say they're like a little bit lower. So it's like 12 extra difference. 566. So then it's minus 80 dex worth. But you're getting 30 boss and 10% IED for 80 dex. I think that's already worth, right?
That seems worth it. Yeah.
So then if you get even like a single flame, a single star on either the glove, the shoe, the cape, or your weapon, which you probably would try to do your weapon since that's the one you already have a backup for. You don't even have to buy the extra one. If you can get the extra star, one extra star would be I don't know the amount of stats exactly. Exclamation mark star force.
Well, I can tell you. Put my weapon in the thing.
Oh yeah,
50
true.
stat, 14 attack.
15, 14?
Yeah.
So this is times 2, so that's a 42, so that's like 57. So at that point you're only like 27. If you get one star on one item. And it should be the same for all the other Arcane as well. So if you get one star on 2 items, then it's like objectively a wash and you gain this. It's a lot of money though, right? It's a lot of money to get everything to 17. But you will end up with a better situation, yeah. The only counter would be like, what if you can actually get to 12 on these? I would say it would be worth to investigate that option, but you seem just very intent on getting rid of the Tyrants. So even if it would like work, no boom on Tyrant, I think you just wouldn't want to do it, right?
Let me see. It's been so long since I've started Tyrant.
Yeah. I put my
Tyrant has no checkpoints, and it has. Okay, so there's no stat It's only attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's stat up to 5 and then only attack past 5. I think it's 19.
So for the
17.
no boom, is the destruction chance added to the failure or the success?
Isn't the failure a chance of booming if it fails?
No, it's so for example, 10 to 11 is 35 success, 52 fail, 13 destruct.
Oh. Yeah, it would be added to fail then.
To fail, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those still aren't good odds.
No, they're not great.
No, that's better. Wait, that's actually better.
But it's better than, yeah, Arcane past, anything past, what is it, past 14 is all 30%, right? But they do have safe spots. But, yeah, but risk of...
I mean, I'll be
going
honest,
past 17.
I'd probably do it. No, if it drops back down too far, I'd probably stop, but...
Oh, yeah,
probably.
like if you're trying and
I'd
it goes
probably
down
at
to like
least
7 or
try.
6, then you're like, fuck it, Arcane time. Yeah, if you start all that circus again of like bouncing up and down and, you know.
Like, if it works, then, you know, I have other places I could invest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see this attack bonus here, honestly. I wasn't aware that it was going to make this huge of a difference. The only thing that we could... Yeah, so the one thing that could still make it worth is this set bonus, right? This set bonus could start kicking in on top of the extra attack. But, I don't know. I have to agree with you. Like, looking full Arcane is just... It's pretty hot. Look like the chat on campus and everything. It is like a crown, icing on the cake, crowning on the achievement, all of that good stuff. Yeah, I can see that. And the flames do come in. Yeah, we would have to do like a full write-up and see like, okay, how good could the flames be on the Tyrant if you get it to 12, if you transpose, set bonus with Sweetwater, put all of that next to it. Because that upgrade would be way cheaper than the Arcane Umbra one we're talking about, and at that point that would free up way more resources to dip into Sweetwater accessories, CRA, and all of that stuff, to get your money's worth on that upgrade, right? Because if you're like, okay, this upgrade is better, but it costs you like 80 bill or something, just naming some astronomical number, but making the same upgrade to get it like stay equivalent or stay on top with, say, the star forcing and the transposing, that only costs you like 10 bill, and then spending that rest of the money in your CRA actually gives you like, I don't know, like a total of like 120 weapon attack there and like 150 or something stat. Then that would be the move, depending on what your income is on a time frame, right?
Yeah.
If you still had all of the other stuff 21, then that would kind of be like a non-issue, but it is part of the equation at this point. So for this, like, definitely looks like a plus, like a go-to, but there's definitely more factors involved. So you'd have to consider like how long are you willing to wait for this, and are you willing to forego all of the possible gains on the CRA and all of that stuff for now, and circle back to that later.
So when are we estimated to get that event, or
I think 2 weeks, because I think our current events are all going 2 more weeks until September 1st.
So after Rise.
Well, there's like half events, right? Some events are like ending. The Sunny Sundays are already ending at the 23rd, so at the 25th we could be getting an update, or 25th or 26th. But then the Rice Coin Shop and some things are like going a little bit longer. So I'm guessing next week, like right after Rise, it would be. But it seems like the shops are probably going for another week to make sure that everyone can buy all the stuff that they want to buy, right? And they don't miss out because they can't play on the last day or something. Is what I'm guessing. So probably on the 25th or 26th is probably when it's going to go live. And it seems in Maple Sea that the event lasted 1 month there. So like a 4-week period. which could make sense.
Okay, well, it's good to see the stats all kind of outlined. Because, like I said, most of the resources seem to have vanished for
Yeah,
those kind of comparisons. Plus, I don't think very many people even use Tyrants anymore.
yeah. I
Not
think
really
that's why people
surprised.
kind of like went away from doing the quick maths because it's mostly Absolab compared to Arcane, which is easier to compare, right? Because the set bonuses are so close and the base stats are so close, and you kind of just like 19. What is it, like 19 to 21, or like it's basically just 2 extra stars is kind of roughly the equivalent, right? Like 17 to 19, 18 to 20,
Yeah,
20 to 20.
that's
Yeah.
good to know. Like how
Um,
much I'll have to invest. It's gonna be a lot, but
yeah. Well, you can use the calculator for that, but man, if you just get even like slightly lucky on pushing past 17 because you do have the money for a backup, and if it booms, you quote unquote just right get another one just back to 17, and you'll essentially only lose 1 star because you can just safeguard and guarantee your way up back to 17. Um, yeah, you would have to be ridiculously unlucky to boom like your first or your second item that is trying to go from 17 to 18. There should be a
pocket
decent,
luck.
yeah, exactly. there should be a decent chance of getting everything to 18 and maybe even 1 or 2 items to 19 before something booms. And at that point, I think you will see some definite gains for your return. And then once that's done, you can dedicate everything into just going super hard on CRA, where, of course, no safeguards whatsoever are necessary. So you might even off event that or during a 30% off, like, because yeah, depending on because it depends on how many booms you'll be willing to settle for, right?
Right.
Because I think if you're going for 21 or 22, I believe that 30% might actually be a little bit cheaper, but you're just gonna boom a lot. Is the difference?
No, we've already used up a lot of time, so I'll probably do the WSC
Yep.
stuff on my own. Like I know how to kind of work those calculators and stuff.
Yep.
Um, let's see.
We have to look at something.
If we had like a little bit extra, I'd ask about links because I think most of mine, you can. The picture is not very helpful because I think most of my links are on my Adele that I'm training right now.
Oh, you got a big legion, so I'm gonna assume that you have like close to.
Everything's at least level 2.
Yeah.
Not. I don't have very many level 3 links. They're almost all level 2.
But you have a lot of level. You have almost all of them at level 200, though, right?
Yeah. I have one of each character class.
Yeah, so it would just be a matter of pushing some from 200 to 210.
Do you have a link command or anything like that, or
For which ones to level?
like, do you know which? Because I still have a bunch of links like Xenon and stuff that aren't on here right now because they're on my training. But like,
Or just like which 12 to get in general?
yeah, which 12 is a big one for me right now. There's so many.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I'll just open my grid so I can have the full look. So you're very bursty, right? So you do need the terms and conditions for sure.
Yeah, almost all of our damage is during
full commit. Yeah. So the
Barrage.
Demon Slayer, for sure. You're an archer, so I'm pretty sure maybe Doof can be better help with it, but I'm pretty sure you'd want the Phantom Link also at level 3 for the extra critical damage for a vicious shot.
I haven't been a big fan of that. I would think you would take BT Link over that, wouldn't you?
It might be both. Oh, well, let's do the fundamentals first, because you need the IED, the boss.
But yeah, I
let's
have
see.
100 crit without.
Double fire. Yeah, crit damage still scales pretty well. So you'd have, if you're bossing, I'm pretty sure it's Noble Fire that gets in there. Empirical Knowledge. We have the Beast Hammer. You probably use Spirit of Freedom, right?
Oh yeah.
Unfair
Absolutely,
Advantage.
we don't have any survivability until next
Until the next skill, yeah. So unfair advantage, judgment, wild rage if it's level 3, light wash if it's level 3. That's 8, and then DS would be 9. I'm thinking you might want the Mihail link, right? Because your
Yes,
knockback resistance is like
absolutely
horrible. Yeah,
garbage. It's actually 0. Okay.
yeah, that's pretty low as far as knockback resistance goes. It's pretty low.
Yeah, I kind of like those last 2 slots.
And the
Don't know about.
arc. Yeah, it would probably be between the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It'd probably be the crit ones, honestly. And I don't know by heart, like between the Beast Tamer and the Phantom, which one would be better? Because okay, well, that takes care of this run. Because that just that's a lot of critical damage though, and critical damage is very valuable.
Yeah, because I'm at the point in the Legion where I'm probably gonna go for 8.5. So in order to do that, I need to figure out which ones I'm gonna take from 200 to 210, and obviously I want to do that with the links that I'm actually gonna use. I've just kind of been winging it, but now I actually, if I'm gonna commit 210, I want to make sure I pick like the ones I'm gonna actually use.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but that might be like a long-term thing. I'll have to figure out on my own.
I think the 200. Well, yeah, not necessarily like a long-term thing, but like it might be a thing that you just have to throw into a calculator, and a calculator will tell you like which ones are better. Because like the added layer of critical damage and critical rate conversion for a Bowmaster is a little bit tricky for me to do in my head. I assume. So if you take the crit ones, then you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Who am I skipping? Let's see, 1, 2. You have your own. We don't count that one. Let's say 3. I'm going to skip Thief Gunning for now. 4. Oh, 5 here. 6. 7, 8. 9. 10. 11, 12. Is probably what I would do. So like Fury Unleashed, Phantom Instinct, Light Wash, Wild Rage, Judgment, Unfair Advantage, Spirit of Freedom, Night's Watch, Terms and Conditions, Empirical Knowledge, Noble Fire, and Focus Spirit. Or maybe switch out Noble Fire with Thief's Cunning, maybe. That's gonna be my guess for what's probably gonna be best for you. So almost all of those go to level 3, I think. Right?
Yeah, that'll probably be my next goal.
1, 2, 3.
It was interesting when I was
oh, except for these two.
I was working on my WSC. You can just kind of for fun look at. I added my extra secondaries.
Everyone with more range but less utility or something.
Yeah, well.
12, 12, and 9.
Before Familiars came back, I was using the 49.9 was best for me. And I think with Familiars, I can actually swap to like the 3-line one now. But it was interesting that the one with damage actually gave me more range than the 3-line.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting actually.
Because my class doesn't have like almost any damage sources. It has passive attack %, and then also attack percent in our burst, so damage is actually like kind of valuable. But a lot of people didn't believe me when I told them a secondary with damage gave more range than 3-line attack.
Yeah, that is pretty counterintuitive, honestly.
So I think links with damage bonus are more valuable than, you know, say something like Jet Link. But I don't even think Jet Link is in my top 12 anymore.
No, I didn't count Gentlink in there either. Yeah, Thieves Cunning would be the one where I don't know. It might be like Thieves Cunning over Phantom Instinct, maybe, or over Focus Spirit, like maybe. But
Yeah,
like,
we get
I
a
would
passive 25% attack and then an active 20% attack.
That's a lot, yeah. That's like more than. That's like half of what people get in total. You just have that to start with, yeah. Oh, that's like an extra passive on the third V, right?
Yeah, they added it, made us quite a bit stronger.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. We need something like that for like a Demon Avenger or something.
So probably, since we're like pretty much done here, I'm gonna go and do a WSE calc for myself. Try to figure out like what familiars opens up for me. In terms of like, is it even worth having a boss line on equips anymore? That sort of thing.
Yeah,
Probably
probably if you're using 30%, then probably not anymore. Although, like you said, with the it's possible because you do have a lot of passive percentage attack. Maybe it might even open up that they tell you to get a line of IED.
Yeah, I do have one, but I also have all the extras like Monster Park and everything. So.
Yeah, IED does end up coming into play again later. I don't know if maybe you have one familiar with an IED line instead of a boss. You could switch that.
I have a 20 and 15. I'm sad it was a 30 and 15, and then the patch downgraded it. So I guess it was only a unique 30%.
How are your numbers in the Legion overview legible?
Sorry, what?
Like this, I can read this. How? Like if I look at mine, it's like blocks of shit.
Let me see yours.
Is it because it's not 1080p or something?
Oh no. Oh, it's just a Nexon thing. Different people have a different font for their familiars for no reason.
Yeah, like these are like just chunky.
No, yeah,
alpha.
you got the shitty block font, and I got like the Maple C font or whatever.
Oh yeah, this is more Maple C-ish. Yeah, it's like kind of like stretched letters and numbers, right?
It's completely random which font you get.
Why are there two different fonts for this? This game never ceases to amaze me, dude. It's a great game. Just special. It's dear to my heart.
Thank you for your time. I
Yeah.
appreciate you going out of your way to like add up all the numbers and everything and put it in front of me.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't just give you like A yes, B no kind of thing. It's way more nuanced and a lot more complicated than most of the things that I get into. It's a bit more tricky. Yeah, it might be time for like a full calculator input, honestly, to take everything into account, especially if you have so many sources of IED, boss, and attack. I wouldn't be surprised if IED came rolling out somewhere, but just make sure you have all of the passive sources, the mage.
Yeah, I think I wanted to do
notes.
that, but then I was like, oh wait, the Arcane changed my values. That's like a whole nother thing. So
yeah,
I guess the whole reason I asked for this is I'm going to calc the thing, but then I want to calc with the arcane values, and it just kind of like all relies on itself or like has dependencies.
I mean, I guess this is like rudimentary maths, I guess, but I'll send this to you. Can you access it that way? Maybe you can use that as some input.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Maybe that'll, I don't know. It's not like super, super fleshed out, but it's like in generality, yeah, it's closer than I thought, honestly. That set bonus hits pretty hard. It's a lot of attack. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I was like super helpful at all of this, but hopefully it fleshed out your options a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it's. I feel like I'm kind of in a niche position, but
Yeah, you are.
Maybe it'll help someone else who also still has tyrants for some reason.
Yeah, maybe people who come back after a long time, and they do have some droplets and they have some tyrants, and they're like, "Where do I go from here?" Yeah. Although I would advise them to probably just go 21 or 22 star Abzo instead, but if you already have all the pieces bought, then that's not an option. Yeah.
Definitely go Abzo. Probably only like a legacy person has to worry about it.
Yep. I'd say so.
But I mean, it's nice that they're adding the Tenebrous droplets. That makes more realistic to, get there.
Yeah, and I think also more desirable for people to just work on their Legion and just grind and just gain levels, because they'll know that will also result in more droplets, and it's not just farming that results in droplets, because anything past level 250 is just you don't get experience in any area that also drops droplets that you want. Maybe up to 255 in Asphera, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's I had a Kana farmer, and even that I was just like 255. Just stop there.
Oh, hang on. I just thought of this, though. But did they say that they were going to drop any droplets in Celas?
In where?
The level 240 area? That's Celas, right?
I know Yum Yum doesn't have it, but then that's like not 220 area.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess they should drop the Asphera symbols, the Asphera droplets there, for consistency's sake. But then again, being consistent and never been Nexon's strong suit, because I don't think I saw it mentioned anywhere. And they said that they were adding the droplets to the Tenebris area, and it doesn't count as Tenebris. So
I've only ever seen that one screenshot of the Lemon droplet that's been shared. I've never actually seen from the new area.
Yeah. Well, there'll be something to ask people who play there, I guess. Hopefully they enter the chat at some point and we can ask them. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's yeah, I don't know. I guess it's not worth my time to make, not worth my time as if you're not worth my time, but to make huge breakdowns of these numbers, because there's so few people in this situation. And I guess that's the main reason why you don't really find the extensive resources of these numbers smushed together.
I don't know. Maybe if that no boom thing works out, you might see a lot more people in time.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Yeah, and then maybe we'll have to look at that.
I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, because you already invested into getting the Arcane. So yeah. All right. Well, best of luck. I hope the number crunch results in some more guarantee that it was the right decision. So it's good to get a confirmation from multiple angles. And best of luck on saving up the money, because that's going to be quite a move.
All right, I appreciate you helping me out, and good luck with your mini adventures.
Thank you. We're going on an adventure to the bear right now. I'll see you guys. I'll see you around.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. Okay. Yeah, that is a very niche position that he's in. It's very tricky to... There's a lot of options that are somewhat comparable. And it's tricky to really say oh, this one is way better than this other one. Obviously, if you get lucky with the Arcane Star Forcing, that's going to be obviously the best one. But it's also the most expensive way to do it. Which makes sense, right? It's because it's the best one that it's the most expensive one. It's not a coincidence that those things coincide.